Who you got? Who you got on the MVP? Is my man Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple Double himself, dropping 42 of them and breaking, Oscar Robinson's record of triple doubles, and he averaging a triple double, or is it my man James Harden, the beard, nearly averaging a triple double himself and got his team third in the Western Conference? So I went back and I looked and I said, you know what? I said I could see this as a 49, 51, race, or it'd be so close, because it seems like everyone is making such, a great case for which one of these guys should win. And unfortunately, they're doing it in the same season, because if they were doing it in, separate season, it wouldn't be, a question. But I went back and I looked and I said, let's see if it was some other close races. So surprisingly, there was, and how they go about this is MVP points, and basically how they do the MVP points, they're weighted where you have first place votes and second place votes, and those carry a certain amount of points to them. So a few that stuck out from me. One was Karl Malone and Michael Jordan. That was in the 96-97 season. Of course, that's when they met in the finals and all that stuff. But Karl Malone edged out. He edged out Michael Jordan by 2%. 2% in those points. It was 85 to 83. And if you remember, the mailman, he was on a tear that season, man. It was like he couldn't miss. He was so dominant. He was and he's going up against Michael Jordan. And you already know, just Mike had the crowd. He had the celebrities. He had it, going for him. And the mailman, pulled that out. Another, close race, which some people will, question, this one was Steve Nash and Shaq. It was 84% to 81%. So it was a 3% difference there, with those two guys. So I just thought, no disrespect to Steve Nash. That man could ball. But I just think that year, that was the 04-05, where Shaq, not only was he just, dominant, the man couldn't hit free throws, So who knows how many points or whatever that he missed out on it, and he still dominated. And that was my point on there. He's taking on 2-3 dudes at the same time, and so that was a close race. Another close race was, I didn't even know this brother was up for the MVP, Mailman got Alonzo Mourning. So Alonzo Mourning was up for the MVP. That was the 98-99 season. It wasn't as close, but it was still close. Mailman had 70% of the votes, and Zoe had 65, or points, I should say. He had points. So this race is going down to that first round. It's going to be the first round. After that, it shouldn't be. They should already have their mind made up, but you best believe especially if OKC somehow beats the Rockets, it's a lock. Russell Westbrook will be a lock. I think it should be James Harden. I think Russ will win it, and I get why Russ will win it, because triple doubles are not easy to average, since only one person has done it before him. So I get it, but this will be decided in the first round of the playoffs. So whoever wins that's who's going to win the MVP. I said it right here. Book it. Book it. You write it in ink. I ain't using no pencil. Write it in ink. So we will see what will happen. I got James Harden, on it. Hopefully I'm right. Because I just want to be right about something. That's it. So let me give you an update, on here. And I want to send a shout out to another listener that just jumped in the building, Miss Letitia Hunter. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for joining the Wait a Minute show. I appreciate the love that you send in my way, jumping in here on the WSME network. So the Chicago Bulls 77-58. They in the fourth quarter. They look like they just going to go ahead and lock it up. Indiana, 82-68. About to finish the third. And we're not even going to worry about the Miami Heat because it's over. The playoffs are already set. Shouts out to my lady. DJ Nunu is in the building representing the MCDE. And my man Sid Galloway is also jumping in here as well. So appreciate y'all for jumping, off into the building with me. For those who just jumped in, just to recap real quick, we were talking about what would be a favorite player, a favorite team that you would want to be an athlete of. If you could be that athlete for a day, what would be your team? So if you got a team out there, just throw it out there for all of us, to chat about, and maybe, challenge you on, don't say you're, playing for, I don't know, the Cleveland Browns or something like that. But this playoff race is starting to, what am I trying to say? This playoff race is going to be going on Saturday. So we got some matchups that I am very interested in watching, not all of them, but there is a few. And I want to point out a few and give my little, nugget on how I think it will go. So I think out of all the matchups that I'm looking at, as far as like a team that could be in trouble, that's a higher seed. I'm going to go with, and you're probably going to be like, what are you talking about? I'm going to go with Boston. Boston might be in trouble playing Chicago. D-Wade, he'll be back. He's already back, but D-Wade, he shows up in the playoffs. If he's healthy, he shows up in the playoffs. So that's one person you got to worry about. I think this playoff they will let bygones be bygones, and they will say, we can beat this Boston team. Boston been slipping. Boston don't want it. Boston thinking everybody going to just lay down because they got the first spot. Boston needs to be careful. Because if not, they could be looking at an elimination game. How many games you say? 7. I'm going to go with 7. I'm not going to, go with something crazy. Boston is still going to compete, but that is my team. You better be on the lookout because if you don't pay attention, you might just be down 3-2 and you be in an elimination game. So I got that going 7 games. Easiest game out of all of these, I shouldn't say easy, but Golden State going to give it to Portland, man. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, they need a lot more than those two guys, to do that. But that's going to be the easiest game. I think the most intriguing game that's going to be out there is going to be Toronto versus Milwaukee. Yeah, Milwaukee is a young team. Jay Kidd is the coach. They've been making moves. They've been challenging folks, and they look young, but at times they're scary. They're scary good, Toronto played in the Eastern Conference Final, took a step back. Not surprised by that. Kyle Lowry and DeRozan, that they're a year, older. So I think that will be the most intriguing to see what Milwaukee can do. They may surprise some folks, out there. Shouts out to my man, that Ninja, who is in the building as well. Appreciate you jumping in, sir. I already said BS3 Sports. He is in there, but we're jumping back to these playoff matchups. So I think the playoffs, the first round will have a little bit of drama, but the second round is really, really where it's going to get, interesting. Can the Clippers, beat Utah? Utah looks real nice, on it. So we shall see. We shall see. We're getting closer and closer, to how that plays out. So my last, topic that I'm going to discuss tonight with you, ladies and gentlemen, I was on one side of the fence, and as I was on my way to come and do this show, I had time to think about it. Why? Because I was driving on 285 in Atlanta, and you know what time it is right now. So I had nothing but time. Nothing, I'm trying to call as many people I know on my phone because I ain't got nothing but time to talk, but nobody wanted to pick up the phone. So I had to think to myself. So it gave me plenty of time to think about what I'm about to say. So the Brooklyn Nets, we were just talking about how they getting mashed out by the Chicago Bulls. And here's why they're getting mashed out. One, because they sorry, and not like sorry. They're professional athletes, but in comparison to professional athletes, they sorry. So shouts out to 334 Bama Boy is in the building. That ninja just told me look out. Jelani. What am I looking out for? That ninja. I don't know. Enlighten me. Indeed. But Lopan, you enlighten me. So they sat out. The Brooklyn Nets sat out Jeremy Lin, Brook Lopez, AC Booker. I think even Jay-Z sat out. Man, he gave up in seats to somebody else, so he not even at the game. On it. So I was thinking, I'm like, so let me get this right. These guys sat out and the last game of the season when they knew Chicago had something to play for. And I was thinking, like, wouldn't you want to be the spoiler, for something like that? Wouldn't you want to be the people that, the team that sent them home, just like you sitting at home, going to be after tonight? Wouldn't you want to do that? And as I sat on 285 and looked at my surroundings of other people that were sitting on 285 with that disgust on their face, I started thinking like, okay, I get it why they sitting out. Here's why they sitting out. Chicago, one is they got something at stake. If they win that game, that affects their draft position. There's a second round pick that could fall into their lap if they lose. So they're taking care of themselves first. So I respect that. I think the biggest thing at the end of the day, when you look at it, is that it's your fault, Chicago. You put yourself in this situation, or it's your fault, Miami. You put yourself in that situation. It's your fault, Indiana. You put yourself in that situation. Why should I have to bail one of y'all punks out, because y'all didn't handle business at the regular season? You should have won the game and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. So why are you putting that on me? So I get why they said, it's just like, do you, Brooklyn, cause that's all you've been doing is doing, so I get it. And I'm not going to fault them, for it. So, if anyone got a problem with it, they did kick rocks because do you, Brooklyn, just do you, Chief just said it. They had 82 games. 82 games. You got 82 games to make the playoff. Why are you putting that on me? Morrow said Indiana sucks. I think I said shout out to 334 Bama Boy. If I didn't, shouts out to 334 Bama Boy in the building. And Chief Rocker is saying they suck. That's why when we were to the question as far as like, why should they be responsible for other teams, getting into the playoffs? So, hey, like Chief said, they had 82 games to get in there. If they really wanted to be in there, they would have won a game a long time ago. And then you wouldn't have to worry about it. So, Chief Rucker, you make perfect sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, my man Lopan has told me to look at the clock. Indeed. And I have looked at the clock and I see, my time is almost up. So, I'm going to go ahead and tell everyone thank you for tuning in to the the Wait a Minute show tonight on the WSME network. I appreciate Doug for giving me this opportunity to share some of my opinions, and things that goes on in my head. And I just want to send a shout out to all the people in the chat room again. Miss Hunter, Morrow, Chief Rocker, 334, Bama Boy, That Ninja, DJ New, Kesey, Said, Sluggo,